Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming back or for joining me. My name is Joanna and I am your intuitive medium and intuitive coach. These are going to be your readings for the month of May. I'm going to keep this very short and very brief. I want to say first and foremost, thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for liking, for sharing, for subscribing to my videos. Please keep in mind these are general videos, so they may not apply to you. Some parts may apply to you, sometimes the entire thing may apply to you, and sometimes none of it will apply to you, and that's okay. Do watch your rising sign, your moon sign, and your sun sign, because these will often create a much clearer picture of what's going on in your life or how it's reflected in your particular case. If you would like a private session, that information is down below for you, and always remember that if you send me an email regarding how the readings pertain to you, I have no way of knowing that until I actually connect with you when I have a session with you. So if that is what you wish, that information is down below for you. Aside from the fact that May feels very significant, but I think I always say that everything is very significant, but there are some planetary changes happening in the month of May. The planet of Uranus is entering the sign of Taurus, and with that comes significant changes for the next little while. So be prepared to shift, to change, to evolve, to become much more enlightened, and a lot of the readings do reflect that. So without further ado, thank you so much again. Let's move on to your individual readings. I will see you soon. Hello beautiful Aquarians, this is going to be a reading for the month of May 2018. Let's start with some of the things that I am receiving as I tune in. Some of you, seems you are lugging something very heavy behind you. This is a metaphor for you being stuck in your past in some way. You are carrying baggage, you're trying to carry your baggage forward, you're carrying some heavy energy moving forward. For those of you who this is meant for, I feel that you are very tired, and there's a part of you that just wants to do that no more. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of you are getting rid of something that's been weighing on you or has been a heavy energy. This could be a situation, a circumstance, a way of being. You've been dragging something behind you for quite some time, and it's becoming too heavy. This is what they're talking about. The heaviness for some of you may actually physically appear as headaches or as pressure on your chest. It could also be an anxiety. And then I hear the words, it's time to let it go. So it is about you being anchored to something, or you being tied to something or committed to something that proves to be a challenge, and a challenge perhaps that you're no longer willing to accept. So that's it's an interesting way of forming it, because it can connect to pretty much anything. The numbers around you are all about expansion, new beginnings, and foundations. So for some of you, this is going to be you expanding your horizons with regards to how you treat yourself, how you respect yourself, how you show up in the world, how or where you live. There seems to be questioning pertaining to what do I do now? So the question feels to me that it's connected to many of you looking at a new path, or looking at a new beginning, or looking at starting something that is different from what was before. The number 3 is all about expansion. It is the Empress, and you have the Empress actually as your future position, and ones we know are energies for starting new. So that's anchored. I keep hearing the word anchored. So this is going to be for those of you who have felt stuck, who have held like your hands were tied, who have felt like the hangman, stuck, unable to move. You are transitioning to a new way of being, and for some of you, you need to relax more. That's what's being said. And for those of you who, and that transition will allow many of you to have a brand new start, A lot of it is on emotional level, which means you will find a way to connect with yourself emotionally and therefore connect differently with the world around you, which always produces changes. Let me see if there's anything else here. He's showing me the number 8 and he's flipping it on the side, which is my symbol of saying that some of you are very tired. You have been working very hard, and perhaps some of you feel like you don't have the strength to carry on like this anymore. For many of you, you're almost at a point of a new beginning. For some of you, you're transitioning to a new beginning, whatever that may mean for you. I'm going to ask him to give examples. Okay, so some of you, I just heard the word school. You're either going to be starting school, finishing school, going back to school. School comes up, education comes up. For some of you, I see somebody getting on a motorcycle. Maybe you're going to be taking a trip on a motorcycle. For some of you, yes, this could be a purchase of a motorcycle or a vehicle. Some of you might be getting a new vehicle. For many of you, this is around moving forward and moving away. So some of you will be starting new in a new location, perhaps in a new city. All of a sudden I just heard Mexico. For some of you, you might be going to Mexico and, you know, maybe for holidays, maybe home, I don't know. So that's some of the examples I'm being shown. Other examples I'm being shown that you are reaching high to gain some wisdom and information. So this could be traditional education, or this could be an intuitive way of gaining knowledge and wisdom. And that actually comes up in the cards. So that is what I'm getting intuitively for the month of May. I'm also seeing fire. What is it that I'm seeing? So I'm seeing campfire. Some of you might be going camping, but there's more to this. Fire. I see some of you observing fire, and I don't know. It's like you're looking at fire. Okay, please let me know if this makes sense to anyone. If there's anyone that reads fire or gets information from fire, I have no idea what this is, but I'm seeing a fire and somebody looking into fire and getting images. It almost feels like they're in trance. I don't know what that is. Maybe you're going through some kind of an initiation. This is going to be very few of you, I'm sure, and it's very specific. So that is what I'm being shown. Fire also represents our power, it's our spirit, it's our fire. And some of you are choosing to take your passion, your power, and put it somewhere else. So there's definite feel of change of circumstances. And fire is, well, it's love, it's what we love to do. It could be career, it could be anything, but you're choosing to take your passion somewhere else. So this definitely sounds like for some of you it's about relationships. Now, what is it that you need to focus on? You have the card of milk and honey. It is in a protection position. For some of you, you may have the desire to overeat, over sex, over drink, over smoke, over. Whatever it is, what's being said here is make sure that you deal with your emotions accordingly. And if you need help with something, ask someone for help. But this is a definite message for those of you who reach for things to deal with stress or emotions, and things that usually end up being counterproductive, whether it is drugs, you know, whatever it is, drugs, rock and roll, too many cookies, too many chocolates, too much sex, too much shopping, whatever it is. There is a warning here of not overdoing or overusing in the month of May. The other part of the message you have is why. So this is important time for you to contemplate, to sit down, to realize what it is that you want, but most importantly, why you want what you want. Because when we chase after things that we don't understand, it becomes a futile process of getting to a place thinking you have something and you don't. And I gave that message to some other signs, so it might be one of your other signs. But this is about understanding the deeper aspect of you, understanding the bigger picture, asking yourself the questions why. Because a lot of us are going through transitions, taking the next step requires us to make some important decisions. And we hopefully will make decisions from the space of inner awareness and inner wisdom. And why is this being said? many of you are at endings. And I always say endings don't have to be, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. But endings signify one door has to close because very shortly another one will open. And I will tell you this as a guarantee, another door always opens. So if something is ending, something is about to begin, because that's how life works. The next part of the message, or what you need to focus on, is the fates. So this is really interesting, because what this is about, it's about you accepting the things that you cannot change. And if you do have something going on in your life that's causing you stress, and you're reaching for things like extra booze, extra over abundance of anything, it is important for you to focus on acceptance. And you may not understand the reasons why. It is often good to figure out why things happen, but sometimes we don't know. And when we don't know, particularly when we can't control, it is a hindrance if we try to figure something out that ultimately is not, how do I want to say it? Being fixated on the reason why will not make us move forward. And sometimes we don't know why for a long, long time, and sometimes never until, you know, when we're on the other side. So it's about accepting things you can't control. So there's definitely a feeling here that many of you are going through some changes. But they're not bad changes, because you have new beginnings and you're expanding. And, well, expanding hopefully not in waste. You know, make sure you don't do this, too much bread, not a good thing. But you're definitely expanding as far as your soul, your mission, your path, your energy. You're moving into bigger and better. And yeah, so 2 animal spirit cards popped out. I asked for one. You have the otter, and then you have the unicorn. So the otter is about, it's about innocence. It's about curiosity. The essence of an otter is they're always very playful. They're not spending time on trying to figure out what's going to get them. Most of their energy goes into playfulness and curiosity. What's being asked of you, or what's being suggested here, is that you become a little bit like the otter. Whatever is happening right now, whatever you are transitioning from, you are transitioning into something else. And what a great way it would be to look at changes from a point of view of, I wonder what's going to happen next. Not to me, but for me. Because the way we phrase words are extraordinarily powerful without even realizing it. I'm sure many of you know, the power of words out loud or inside voice. But this is about becoming more curious about the bigger aspects of life, becoming more at ease. And I get, when we go through stressful situations, being at ease and easy, but it helps when we look at things from a slightly different perspective. And I always say that. So for those of you who are transitioning from one situation to another, and it is for the better for the most part, you may not see the results now, but look at the change from the point of view of, I wonder what I'm going to experience next, versus I wonder what's going to happen. Because doesn't matter how you say it, energetically you project a certain vibration. That vibration, we know how this works, brings about corresponding vibration. So that's the otter. It's about playfulness. Spend some time being lighter within. Okay, he says how? Well, jump and scream. If you need to get some energy out, go get exercise, look for some things to do that are new, look to explore new horizons, look to explore new foods, be curious about different holiday destinations, anything that's out of the norm. See if you can stretch your boundaries to get yourself a little bit into unfamiliar territories. Unicorn is all about the higher self. So this is about believing the things that we cannot see, looking into the things we cannot see, looking into our own self, and for deeper meanings and for deeper understanding. So this why and this card for me goes hand in hand. When we go deep inside and ask ourselves some questions, we often come up with some amazing solutions, because I always say we all have the answers within. We just don't know how to get there. Okay, so this is about inner higher self, inner awareness, spending time contemplating perhaps the bigger picture. Clearly, if you're watching this channel, you must have some connection to your spiritual self. Otherwise, we wouldn't connect. And do it with a sense of playfulness. Okay? This way. Do it with a sense of playfulness. Look how the otter is looking at the unicorn, right? They can be buddies. Okay? The other thing I want to say, there's nothing wrong with being different. So if some of you are trying to put yourself in a cookie cutter form, don't do that. You're not meant to be like somebody else. You're meant to be just like you. So a lot of this is about acceptance. I don't think this card talks about it in the book, but I think that's what I'm getting. Now, what are you leaving behind? Puzzled me a little bit. One of the things you have is 2 of coins in reverse. And I actually asked for clarification. You have 6 of cups and you have the moon in reverse. So right off the bat, it's showing me that what you're leaving behind is disorganization. This could disorganization, not only that, lack of control, lack of being able to prioritize, not being able to prioritize, lack of being able to manage everything. I just want to say the word disarray. Now, because it's shown to me in Pentacles, it suggests that it could be feeling cluttered or not organized at work. It could also be in your environment at home. It could be in a relationship. It could be within you, whatever it is. And so lack of solutions, lack of resolution. So some of you you had difficulty juggling things. And for some of you, this is going to be work. When I asked for clarification, 6 of Cups came up. And what I see with this card is this person's being dreamy. They're thinking about the past. There is nostalgia here. So I wonder if some of you are leaving a situation where you started to doubt whether where you are at is the place for you to be. That's what I'm getting. The moon in reverse suggests that, yes, some of you may be blocking some fears from being exposed, but this also talks about you having faced some fears and overcoming them. Now, because so that's what you're leaving behind. Now, what's in front of you? You have the Judgment in reverse and you have the Lovers. So a couple ways I see this. Number one, there is a need for some of you to look at your relationship and see if it's something you're choosing to either pursue or to stay in. We have relationships with lovers, we have relationships with family, with friends, with work, with coworkers. So there's a need to examine some aspect of your life that perhaps you didn't want to look at before. Now, if this is what's causing you the stressful situation, remember the card, don't overdo anything if you're going through some stress. So that's kind of what I see here. I'm not saying there's a finality to something in your life or to a marriage or a relationship, but there is a need to look into something deeper. It just feels like some of you are in the midst of change and you're trying to decide what it is that you want to do next. And what I'm being shown here is that first, it's important to ask yourself the question, why am I here? What do I want? And is what I want congruent with where I am? And if I'm not, what am I going to do, or what can I do to make those changes happen? Okay? That's what's coming up. For some of you, it's about major choices and decisions that will impact your life going forward. Now remember, you are in an energy of expansion, new beginnings, and solidifying brand new foundations. Whenever I see this, it always tells me that there's a brand new beginning just waiting out, you know, in a periphery. And we are putting the pieces forward in order to make that happen. Okay, now where is it that you're going? This is near future. You have the Empress and you have the Queen of Pentacles. This is where you're going. You're moving to stability. You're not only moving to stability. For some of you, you're going to become your own owners, your own business owners. This is a male or female, a person who is practical, who knows how to handle their money, often their own boss, a manager, somebody who's very solid. This is a card of expansion. This is abundance. Yes, it's card of birth. So many of you will be giving birth to brand new ideas. Some of you might be getting pregnant in the next few months. And I know some of you have said you're tired of hearing the pregnancy thing, but there are people who want to hear it. And I get those emails all the time. Anyway, you are moving to, this is how it was shown to me. You are moving towards a more expanded way of being. You're moving also to expansion financially. Some of you may be solidifying brand new jobs, brand new careers. And we did see that there was some education, I believe I was talking about earlier at the very beginning. So you're moving to stability, okay? You're moving to giving and receiving. You're also moving to a place where you're able to create more. And in order for you to create more, you first have to figure out what it is that you want, right? The unicorn is really looking at me. I feel many of you will leave a situation because you feel you no longer belong where you are. And this could be a group of people, this could be an organization, this could be a religion you used to identify yourself with. It could be any situation, but I feel like many of you are moving in a different direction. And not because there's something bad necessarily, but you're choosing to move forward in a different way. And for some of you, this is going to be moving forward differently with the way you express. And Empress is a very nurturing card as well. It's about giving birth, right? So a lot of this speaks to changes and shifts in our awareness, asking ourselves the deep question, why? And then proceeding forward with much more awareness. And if we can all do that, I think we would have way happier life. And I think that's all I have for you. If this makes no sense to you at the beginning of the month, please listen to it at the end. It makes no sense to me. I hope you have a wonderful month of May. Thank you so much for watching, for sharing, and for liking. And if you would like a private session, that information is down below for you. Thank you so much. So much gratitude to you. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.